Good morning. Good morning. Did you know the average person makes 35,000 decisions a day? By gosh, no wonder why we just want to avoid things like what do you want in your life? What do you need? What direction are you heading? What are the people that you love and care about? What do they need and want out of life? These stuff can tend to feel exhausting. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to break down and hopefully take the overwhelm out of figuring out what it is that we want out of life. Enjoy the morning show, friends. Cheers. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Talk Terror Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best person you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Today's mission is all about gaining clarity for the future. So we have over here, I'm going to share my screen again. Let's kick that one off. So that's a different example. We have the offer over here. So on our 5-part series, we're finally on part number 5. So this is one of the problems that we help solve in my coaching is just gaining clarity so we stop guessing what people need, whether it's our clients, whether it's our family members, whether it's our friends, or most importantly, ourselves. Stop guessing what we need in order. So this is a massive problem. And in the race to eliminating the bull caca out of our lives. So this is the 5th and final part to this. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do this in a little bit of 2 parts, kind of how we've been doing through this. I think this is very helpful in addressing these problems that can be very complex. It's going to be different for you than it is for me. It is for that person. It is for that person. So we're going to go ahead and try and break this down away in 2 different segments. Why do people have such a hard time gaining clarity, and like what are the cons of not having clarity in life? And additionally, the how. Like what are just some very straightforward questions and steps that you can take to become a better version of yourself. These are all ones I've personally used with myself. They're also within some of my classes that we're going to go through and some of my other programs that I have, but it'll just be all a gift back too, because we're on the mission to just trying to help people become better people. Cheers to that, friends. Let's get going. Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing this Friday morning? Feeling good? Feeling ready to go? I'm feeling excited. I've really enjoyed this like question series and being able to like show more of really what I do for people and give you a better idea. Okay, first tip. So we're going to jump down to why clarity is important. I think the why comes before the how. I think it makes it a little bit easier. So why clarity for life is important. The first one I would say is purpose. Just having a purpose in life is a driving force. When we've talked about this week, internal motivation, trying to gain internal motivation. And I think having a purpose is really, really powerful. Putting this into words is so difficult, and that's why we've turned it into games and plug and play pieces to create your own purpose statement in the class. But for simplicity's sake, just asking like, I want to do this. So if we can nail down the purpose, I think it makes taking action that much easier. So maybe this is a reminder this morning of thinking like, what is my purpose? What is it that I'm really trying to do here? And I think that can really help give clarity to what it is that we want to do. Next up, having clarity on what it is we want to do, why it is important. Part 2 is the direction. Just being able to have direction. We don't want to go the wrong way. Tony Robbins is famously quoted for saying like, walking east to see the sunset. I don't care how far east you walk, you're not going to see the sunset. So if we don't really know who we are and where we're at, it's going to be really, really difficult to get where we want to go. Or if we don't even know where we want to go, it's going to be I can guarantee it's going to be impossible to get there. So you can see how just for direction's sake, that clarity is so powerful. Next up, decision making. Being able to just we just highlighted over here that, let me go ahead and share my screen. We just highlighted that the average person makes 35,000 decisions per day. And if you are not making decisions that are in alignment with who you are and what you truly want, what is the guarantee? I'm going to feel like crap. If my number one value is health and I'm choosing to eat crap, I'm going to feel like crap. So we want to be able to make better decisions, we want the clarity on what it is we want. And we want a game plan just laid out, very specific. So it makes making that decision so much easier, because we're going to have to make a lot of decisions no matter what, whether you're working with your family members, your clients, your coworkers. Life demands a lot of decisions. So we just want to take the unnecessary weight off of ourselves to make sure that we have the energy and capacity to create a plan that works best for us. Okay. Next up is why clarity is important, because if we don't have clarity, we're going to feel lost, bored, or restless. These are the three most common ones that I have felt when I did not know when my coach was originally asked me when I was getting started on this process, Tanner, what do you want to do with your life? Even just getting asked a question, and later when I'd be thinking about it, maybe trying to journal, I would either feel lost, bored, or restless. And none of these feel good. I really don't like feeling lost. And I get that whole cheesy, I'm going to kick this off the screen, that whole cheesy, like, not who wander or lost. No, I'm talking about you are lost. Like, you do not know what you want to do. You have no idea. You were clueless. And that is very painful, or at least it was in my experience. When I was traveling in my car, I was living out of my car and traveling the country for a while. And there were some times where I genuinely felt lost, and I felt a lot of fear. I felt really scared. I felt a lot of pain. That sucked. But the experience was necessary for me to kind of figure out where I wanted to go, what was really important to me. So I'm glad I did it. But still, feeling lost sucks. So if you do feel lost or you feel bored, I mean, just feeling bored, that's when I always tend to numb myself. I'm sure you can think of situations of what you possibly do when you're bored. So when you're bored, what do? Do you do things that are unhealthy? Do you do things that are not good for you? And lastly, just feeling restless. Like, I just don't know. Like, I got this itch to do something. I have the energy to do something, but I'm just not proactively getting closer to it. And it's just making me feel even more anxious. So if these are common things, then it kind of addresses to what we're really trying to nail down. So we kind of nailed on the point of just life's biggest decisions are exhausting, and acknowledging that and seeing that it's important to figure this stuff out so we don't have to be so exhausted when the stuff comes on. If we want to get where we want to go, we have to have some type of plan. If we want to understand ourselves at a deeper level, we're going to have to put in the work. And so I think with the right ways, with the right games, with the right support, I don't think this needs to be exhausting. But when we push it off and push it away, its importance to the quality of our lives doesn't change. So if we keep pushing it off, then it's just going to feel even more exhausting in this vicious cycle. Okay, so that was a bit of the why. So we ran through the why it's important, so we can have purpose, so we can make decisions, so we can have direction, decisions, so we don't feel lost, bored, or restless, and we don't feel as exhausted. Okay. That was the why. This is important. Now let's get into the what. Okay. What do you and other people need? So let's gain the clarity on this. I think step one is ask people. So simple, so obvious. Shout out to Jim Rome. If you want to receive, you must ask. Ask and you shall receive. So go figure that. Shout out to Jim Rome, one of the best to ever do it. So just asking, this was something I never did for a long time, and it caused a lot of issues, a lot of problems. I'm sure you can think of your own examples where we just assume somebody feels a certain way about something. We just assume this is how this works. We don't ask people. So I have a problem. I've done this, the school examples classic. So we're sitting down, I'm in a math class, and I don't want to look stupid, so I don't ask the teacher help on this math problem. I go home, I stew on it. I feel all this pain. I'm not sure what to do. And then I come back and then I said, I really didn't get number 7. Number 7 was really tough for me. I spent a lot. He was like, oh, yeah. Did anyone else have problem with number 7? Half the class raises their hand, go figure. And then it was just like one little step that we all missed. And it's like, oh, that would have saved me hours and hours and hours. So amplify that to an even bigger subject, not just like an algebra problem, but like your life, your values, your purpose, your relationships. Imagine that stuff getting jacked up just because we don't ask. So that comes in our number 1. We got to ask we got to ask the people we love and care about, our clients, or ask them what they need. What do you need? How can I help you? How can I help you goes a really long way. Maybe that's something we learned this morning is just ask somebody, how can I help you? What do you need? See what they say, right? Okay, fantastic. Just ask. Powerful. Okay, the anti-vision. I actually got this from Danco. I was reading one of his recent blogs that was really good. Shout out to Danco. He's one of my mentors. And what don't you want? Just maybe if trying to figure out what you do want is too overwhelming, it's just too much, then start with this question. What don't you want? And I think people have a pretty good idea of what they don't want. Maybe you don't want to work a certain type of job. Maybe you don't want to look and feel a certain type of way. Maybe you don't want to be with a certain type of group of people. Maybe you don't want to. So just trying to list out the things that you don't want, I think maybe can be a good step forward to getting closer to understanding what we do want. So what don't you want? Next up we have here is explore your passions. So I got 3 questions on here. Brandon, one of my classes, we do a much deeper dive than this. So shout out to the one-page life plan. You can always go to talktotanner.com to check out the one-page life plan class. But for today's purposes, we're just going to run through 3 questions real quick. So explore your passions. Questions. First, what activities make you lose track of time? They get you in this flow state. The activity gets you just immersed, fully immersed. That's a great way to reduce boredom and being overwhelmed. I can't even pronounce his name again, but the book Flow that I absolutely love talks about being in this like state of deliberate practice where you're pushing your skills a little bit, but you're not overwhelming yourself. You're right in the middle. Harmony is a good word for it, right? So what activities make you lose track of time? Let's think of these and think of how we can implement this into our day-to-day life, our activities into the vision that we're creating forward. So like, what do you want? And then maybe think of the activities that are included in that, because the activities is the reality, right? This is when you think of the life that you want, it's always today. We're not going to go too deep on this, but it's always technically today. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow never exists. It's always the present moment. So the activities are really important. And I think if we can pick more activities that are in alignment with our passions, stating what we're talking about right now, then I think it can make life so much better and blissful. Next up is, what do you love to learn about? This is an absolutely fantastic question, because if you are interested, if you are engaged, it makes me laugh. When I think of like my college experience, when I think of just my work experience, when I am interested, I am so much more engaged. When I want to learn about something, I learn so much better. There's so many studies that prove that just positivity and engaged learning really helps embed for long-term learning, for application, for consistency, easy reference, all that good stuff, right? So positivity, we want to make sure that we figure out the things that we want to learn about, and then we're implementing in our plan of what it is that we want. What do you want? What do other people want? And then lastly, what problem do you like helping other people solve? This is the money question. If you are about money and you want to make a lot of money, this is the money question. People pay money to get their problems solved. Non-negotiable. It's crazy. Like if you have a problem and it is painful enough, you will pay whatever amount it is to get done. I think the hospitals have proven that if you're in enough pain, if you want the ER ride, you're going to pay for it. And you're like, I don't care. Like my life's more important than that. It just proves that the bigger the problem, the more money on the table. So if money's the goal for your business or whatever, this is a really, or if you just want to get to know people on a deeper level, get to know yourself on a really deeper level, and you want to really enjoy and explore your passions more, it's awesome for that as well. Of course, it's not all about the money, Tanner. I know. Okay, what problem do you like helping other people solve? That's a good one. So use these questions. This was explore your passions. And from not only getting to know yourself, but also use these to get to know other people. So we're not guessing what they want, need to. That's how you make amazing friendships, strong relationships, and just integral connections to help you get to where you want to go. But what activities make you lose track of time, get you into that flow state? What do you love to learn about? And what problem do they like helping other people solve? If you can ask someone else those 3 questions, I can pretty much guarantee the conversation is going to go well and it's going to be good and engaging. Okay. Next up, so after we explore our passions, I would highly encourage to do a SWOT analysis. So this is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to share my I'm going to share my screen real quick. So I did a full episode on this one. Oh, this was stop procrastinating. Let's go ahead and go over here. So you go to live, past streams, you go to live, you have access to all of our episodes, and it's episode 352, I believe. Yep. So this was episode 352. And this was a SWOT analysis where we just did a deep dive. So if you want to do a SWOT analysis exercise, you can go over to episode 352. And that is under our, I'll go ahead and I'll copy this one and I will slap this one into the chat. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. So that one was about a SWOT analysis, but I highly recommend watching that one and checking that one out. For today's reference, if we can just acknowledge our strengths, people tend to, this is me all the way, I tend to like things that I'm good at. So if I can look at the strengths and I can look at the opportunities, then I can really try and, it just is good for getting the wheels turning for implementing the plan that I want to have going forward. What goals do I have for the next month? What goals do I have for the next 6 months? What goals do I have going forward in the future? I like planning far into the future. It gets me excited. It makes me excited about the future when I think about 10 years, where this company's going, where I'll be at skill set wise, the people we're going to help. So it's up to you, but I really like doing a SWOT analysis. It's just something I did in college all the time for case studies on businesses, and also opportunities and threats. Just a great way to understand. A lot of people, and you hear me out there, you might have a hard time asking for help. And if you have a hard time asking for help, then the SWOT analysis is awesome because you can take the opportunities and you can take the threats and be like, who can help me? Who will support you? So that kind of takes us on to our next one, the superhero framework. So the superhero framework, in my class, I call it the tribe of mentors. So I'm going to go ahead, share my screen again. Where is that? It's under the relationship section for my class. But under the relationship section, so we have over here the tribe of mentors. Some people call it the superhero framework, but essentially the point is, who do you look up to? So when we're trying to gain an idea and clarity on like what we want out of life, what do the people we love and care about, what do they want out of life? And when we're trying to help them with that, I like the superhero framework. Just who do you look up to? So we can think of people. What do they do? What do they do health-wise? What do they do wealth-wise? What do their relationships look like? What do they do day to day? What is their hustle? What is their ebb and their flow? And I think we can just take bits and pieces. The cool thing about it is, so on here, this is actually in the relationship section. This is something. So say if like Tony Robbins is someone who you really look up to, and all of my exercises are plug and play PDF, so you can change them, edit them for life. Keep them, but they're part of the class that you take with me over at, and you can always take the class over at talktotanner.com. But okay, so we're still on the superhero framework. So whether it's Tony Robbins or, so I'm a big fan of Alex Hormozy. These are the people who have really been lighting me on fire. I know my girlfriend has been talking so much about Dr. Mindy Pels and the incredible information she has on just health and wellness. So whoever you are, you have your different tastes, and you can learn so much from these people. I like to call them a tribe of mentors because I think of people as in a tribe, and I've had mentors completely change my life, so I like that. But a lot of other people call it the superhero framework. Either way, we're picking super people who we can just pick and prod from the outside looking in and see what we can do to implement in our own life to gain clarity on what it is that we want. Okay, this was clarity. So we're going to, if we can run through this real quick. So what do you need? What do you and other people need? We got to ask questions. Don't be scared to ask people. We have to figure out what we don't want. After we figure out what we don't want, then we will explore our passions. We're going to explore our passions with these 3 questions. And you ask yourself these questions, and you also ask other people to engage with them and to have better conversations more consistently. What activities make you lose track of time? Get you in that flow state. Awesome. What do you love to learn about? Nail that down. That is such a good question to ask other people. And that also, what problem do you like helping other people solve? So what problems do you like helping other people solve? This is not only a great question, but also we talked about it's the money question. Do the SWOT analysis. You can always check it out. I left in the comments episode that is over at episode 352 of the Talk to Tara Morning Show, where we do a much deeper dive on that. And then lastly, check out the superhero framework. What people do you look up to? How can we learn from them? What are bits and pieces that we can take and apply to our own lives to gain clarity on what it is that we want and where do we want to go? Not only for ourselves, but for the people we love and care about most. Awesome. Okay. My last plugs are, so that's all I had for clarity. Thanks for sticking around this morning. I'm going to go ahead and add to the stage. So if you want to learn more about the class, you can always check out talktotanner.com and look at the products that we have. We have the one-page life plan course. That is my most recommended. Recommended. You're already here at the morning show. But the one-page life plan course, it's a 6-week course, a deep dive on you, for you, to really solve these problems that we went over this week that we'll check out over here. Okay. That's not the one I wanted. I wanted Adobe Reader. There we are. So these are the problems that we went over this week. This was a 5-part series, but you solve all of these problems in the class, essentially. Reduction, reduction, reduction. We reduce the crap out of these problems so we can have more fun, more time for ourselves, and enjoy not only ourselves, but the people we love and care about more. Okay, so that's over at talktotanner.com. You can check out one-page life plan. And additionally, you can check out old episodes over at talktotanner.com. And you just go to past live streams, and you can have hundreds of free content episodes to just check out what it is that you want to do to try and improve yourself, all completely free. So we're racking up. We're trying to do the best that we can to help people become better people. And we're on a mission. We're not stopping until we get there. So cheers to that, friends. That's all I have for today. And in case you needed to hear it, I love you. You're badass. You got this. Let's go out there. Let's apply. Let's answer some of these questions. Let's engage with people we love and care about. Let's help somebody today. And let's have an amazing, amazing Friday. You guys all have an incredible, incredible weekend. I'm off for the weekend, baby. Let's go. Get a couple of days off. I actually have to make a bunch of content for this other class I'm helping somebody produce, but I won't be on camera for that one. So that'll be nice. Alrighty, you guys keep chipping away. We got this. Let's keep rocking and rolling. The only way to fail is to quit. So you guys have a great one. I'll be here bright and early Monday morning with another episode of the Talk to Tanner Morning Show. Cheers, friends. Peace out.